We're on. There we go. Thank you very much for joining us here, the Ravery Sports Podcast, here on Christmas Day, Easter, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all rolled into one. Draft Day. The NFL Draft is here. We're here for the pre-show to the draft. The draft is going to start here in about a half hour. So thank you, all of us, for joining us. If you are watching us right now, there's a lot of you watching on Twitter. Go to the Facebook page, Ravery Sports Podcast, and go ahead and subscribe. We just got a new subscriber just the other day, so thank you very much for joining us here today. So we have been waiting a long time. A lot of analysis. It's here. The NFL Draft is upon us. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going to happen tonight, the NFL Draft. Ravens are picking in the 27th position tonight. So the Ravens are going to be on the clock, look about 10 o'clock or so. We have most of the first round to be over. We did our last mock draft yesterday. Kelvin Banks, offensive guard, and they would be playing for the Ravens, played a lot of tackle at the University of Texas, 27th. That is what Ravery Sports Podcast is predicting in the last mock draft. So 27 for Kelvin Banks. Kelvin Banks, I think the biggest need for the Ravens, I think, is the offensive tackle spot. Definitely need help there. Offensive guard. Daniel Falele was not it last year. Voorhees was benched for Pat McCary, who now went off to Jacksonville to become a starter. So that is what they're going to do. I think Banks, may slip in the draft. So I think Banks is a good pick for the Ravens at 27. Banks, I think, gets the start in the draft 27. I've seen him a lot higher than that. I know somebody's going to say, well, I've seen him a lot higher in the draft. Yeah, but the way we predicted it, that's going to go down. I think a lot of these skill players are going to go early, the ones that are there. Terrion McMillan, Ashton Genty, Tyler Warren, I think they're going to be gone early. Then you're going to see, I think, a run on a lot of defenders, edge rush, Warren, Jalen Walker, et cetera. A lot of these edge rushers, they're going to go off the board. I think a lot of these good tackles are going to be late in the draft. So I think late in the first round, rather. So that's what you're going to see. I think Banks may be available. Donovan, and let's even go over that. Like who else the Ravens might be looking at there in the draft in the early. So other names the Ravens going to be looking at. Gray Zabel. I think he might be gone, but I think he was very good at the Senior Bowl. Small school guy, played a lot of tackle. I think he's going to be guard. A lot of people consider him the best offensive guard in the draft. So I think he's an easier, I think, like what you see in the NFL, more versatile scheme fit, like a New England or something like that. They like coaches like a guy like him because you could put him at multiple spots on the line. Booker, I think, is the best guard pure in the draft. He's not going to play tackle because he's kind of a mauler, but he does have good hands. I think he's much better in pass protection than what people think he is, than what he's seen with the body type lends to. So I think Booker, is going to be there as well. So definitely look at that name. Donovan Jackson, who filled in last year for Josh Simmons at Ohio State. So I don't think the Buckeyes even get to the championship game without Donovan Jackson filling in. Definitely a guy. Here's a guy, again, play tackle. I think definitely fit in a guard. I think he definitely has a future at tackle. A little more, he could go late in the second even. But I think in the first, it wouldn't shock me if a team really liked him. Josh Simmons, I think, is a starting NFL right tackle, left tackle. The only question is he's had some injury issues, so I think that's going to take him down. I think some teams are going to be a little leery taking him because of the injury issues that he's had. Defensive tackle, I think, is going to be prominent there. Derek Harmon, word is he's got some injury issues himself, but Oregon defensive tackles, we had Olodi Nada, a lot of success with him. Harmon, I think, is an excellent choice for down there. Walter Nolan is a name a lot of teams are sleeping on, but I think he's moving up the boards. A lot of talk with the Bengals taking him. That's possible, but Nolan, I think, is a guy that they could take. Kenneth Grant, one more. Kenneth Grant is the guy I think as well. A lot of overshadowed by Mason Graham. So that's the only question I have with him. But Grant, I think, is a good 3, 4, multiple positions you could put him in. I think he's perfect for a team looking for some extra help up front. I think the Ravens will definitely take him early. So that is where it is. Keep an eye on those names. Could be some more there. You never know because it's the draft. So those are names you're going to look at. Another name, I don't think the Ravens are going to take it early, but Jahdae Barron is my favorite player in the draft. I'm really, really a big fan of Jahdae Barron as far as the NFL draft. Great speed, reminds me of a lot of Marcus Peters in his prime. He's going to go ahead, take some risks. Not as good on ball. I don't think with like big, tall, lean receivers. I think there could be some issues there. But Jahdae Barron is fantastic as well. So let's look at some more players here in the draft. Some other things that are going on tonight. I don't think this is going to happen tonight, but we're going to talk about Mark Andrews. Look, Eric DeCosta left it open. Every time he's been asked, that's 2 strikes. He wants teams to believe that they're open for business with Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is going ahead and possibly be traded. He's kind of left it open, so we will see what's going to happen with Andrews. Isaiah Likely is a guy that a lot of fans want to take over. He did pick up the option, so it'll be interesting to see if anything does happen there. Adafiowe's contract is coming. Adafiowe had the best year of his career. He had 10-plus sacks. Ravens do have a history of not paying a lot of these these pass rushers. They let a lot of them go. So could it be possible that they're going ahead and letting that go? Could they be possibly getting a trade while his value is high? It's going to be very expensive if you keep Adafiowe. Are you willing to pay $20+ million to keep him? So it could be issue. Less likely, but I think something to keep an eye on as far as that goes. Overarching story. The son of Deion Sanders, I think, is going to be there. I still have him pretty high. I cannot believe that the Browns, the Giants, are going to be this crazy. But the national media, a lot of them are saying Travis Hunter at 2 and Abdul Carter at 3, and the Shador slipping all the way down. I don't think so. I heard this a couple years with CJ Stroud, so I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think it's a thing. I think this will be less dramatic than what they're hoping for here, but it'll be interesting to see. I did hear a thing about Shador. I think some of the criticism, and I think this was the best thing I heard with the criticisms of Shador. So let's say he doesn't do well the first year, Shador. A lot of teams are worried. A lot of coaches are worried that what they're going to do to fix Shador, not that he has a contract, is bringing Deion as the coach, right? So you go ahead and bring Shador in. You could go ahead and give your own job away, right? So if you bring Shador in, that kind of makes sense to me why the nervousness is there, because the element of that is I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. A lot of the criticism I'm hearing, I think, is off the field stuff. Nothing on the field. He's not that good on the field. I think clearly he's a first round quarterback. This is just insanity to me when I'm hearing people say, well, he's not first round. That's crazy. I think he's as good a quarterback as you can find in the draft, certainly this year. But I don't think it's going to be as dramatic as people think. I think the Browns, and certainly I think the Giants are going to be very interested in taking Shador. What happens? Aaron Rodgers, are we going to get anything from Aaron here? It's kind of expected that Aaron Rodgers, he'll be the oldest starter in the league next year. I think he'll be 41 or 42, that he signs with the Squealers. Will the Squealers go ahead and sign Aaron? Aaron has been working out with DK Metcalf. They need a quarterback. They have to look. They got Mason Rudolph there. They're definitely looking in the draft. I think they probably are the one team that is the most looking for a quarterback. So can they bring in Aaron to sign with them It's been going on for a while. Are they done waiting though? I mean, it could be they have to move on with their football team. I don't know who else is out there. The only other name I can even think of that starter is Kirk Cousins. They could be very serious about starting Mason Rudolph at quarterback. So see what happens here. But with Aaron, one other kind of news there as well. Jets, Breece Hall, could they be moving on? The word is they've been taking some calls on Breece Hall. They're overhauling it all in New York, and I don't blame them. They got a new coach there, Aaron Glenn. I wouldn't shock me if they moved on from Breece Hall. A lot of teams are looking for running backs. We are in a bit of a running back resurgence. So it wouldn't surprise me if Breece Hall, was moved, that they were looking to go ahead and do that. Not at all. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I think the Jets are going to make moves. I think they're going to take Tyler Warren in the draft here in the first round. Teams that might trade up in the draft. So let's look at this. Who's moving up from their current position? I think it's interesting that we haven't seen yet any teams move up already. So a lot of times we see the week of the draft, a week before, whatever teams do this, do that. Nothing yet. Nobody yet has really moved up in the draft really yet. There was a low round trade between the Titans for the Broncos and the Texans. I think it was like 5th rounders, or something like that. But no real big moves up. So who could be moving up? I think the Broncos definitely are. The Broncos, I think, have their eyes possibly on some of the running backs if they don't stay in the spot. They could have their eye on Colston Loveland if they have to move up to get him. They may have to move up to get him. I think they're definitely looking at that. Possibly one of the receivers. I think upgrade on offense is motivation for them. Texans, I think, need some help on the line, period. So definitely they're going to see how the board goes. And if they have to move up, if they see linemen going off the board, if Campbell goes early, Banks goes early, etc., I definitely think the Texans could move up. Jaguars, I think they would love to have Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter in the team. Do you want to make the team better? I think they're going to kick the tires. I think one of the teams, with all the rumors with the Browns trading and the Giants trading, they got to be looking at those guys when you're that close. As much as they like Mason Graham, Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter are generational players. 2 teams at the bottom of the first round, the Chefs and the Eagles, absolutely looking to trade up. Wouldn't surprise me at all, especially the Eagles. The Eagles have a history of taking offensive and defensive linemen. I think definitely they may not stay at 32. If there's one they like, I could see them moving up, taking a Josh Simmons, taking a Tyler Booker, taking a guy like that early. Chefs, I could actually see it for the tight ends as well, as mad as they need offensive linemen as well. If they can get their hands on Loveland, this is possibly the end of the line for Travis Kelce after this season. So I could definitely see them moving up in the draft. Who moves down? Always put the Colts to move down. I've been so hard on the Colts. Chris Ballard, I think, is the most annoying GM in the league. Very annoying. I think Irsay is fine, and they always want to move down. They always want to move down, get more picks, and get me. That's why they're living in me. But I definitely think if the Colts get a chance to move down and get picks, they'll definitely do it. Patriots, I think, will as well. It depends also, too. We're talking about the teams that, move up for the tackles. They move down for the tackles. The Patriots are picking 4th. Maybe they move out of that spot, especially if Abdul Carter and Hunter off the board may not move down if somebody's there, or especially if they are, that might be a good team. Somebody might be trying to move up to get them. I could definitely see the Patriots moving down. Cowboys, I think they just players. I could definitely see them needing extra picks. Same with the 49ers. I think they absolutely need players. They don't have a lot of, they need edge rush. They need offensive line. They need wide receiver. They need a lot of things. So definitely see them moving down. Rams, I think, also too would move down if they could. I do believe they're. I don't know if they're a team. I think of all the NFL teams that they're not in love with the first round. So I absolutely think they're a team that could possibly move down as well. So let's look at it as well. So those are the teams that can move up. Those are the teams that absolutely can move down. Now, the board. This is what we had last night. Let's go over it real quick. Cam Ward, I think you could put that in pen. He's going to be the new Tennessee Titans quarterback at 1. I still have Shedeur at 2. I'm still thinking this is smoke. I know what everybody's saying, but I can't. I don't think that. I think they're going to keep him at 2. They need a quarterback. They're not going to start a season with Joe Flacco as the starting quarterback. So they're not going to do that. So I think it's Shedeur. They could move down and get him if they see him moving down. They also could be the strategy as well. Travis Hunter, I think, is there at 3. Travis Hunter, I think, is the number 1 player on the board. I don't care where you play him. I think he's an outstanding corner. I think he's an outstanding receiver. I don't think it's possible for a guy to play both ways in the NFL. That doesn't bother me at all to play Travis Hunter. He can play on both sides. Best edge rushers, Abdul Carter. I have him at 4. Edge rush is outstanding here. The Pats need linemen, but these 2 good to pass up. Mason Graham at 5. I really like him. I really think he's underrated. I think he could take 2 guys. He can bull rush. He's what you see, what you need now. Like the pass rush doesn't always come from the edges. It comes from the interior. I think he can really help you there. Raiders, Ashton Genty, number 6. Genty, I really like Genty. Genty's a workhorse. I think he can. This guy, like, there's certain guys when I see him, you think about old Raiders like Marcus Allen, a guy like that. He sees the field very well, very shifty, hard to bring down, multifaceted to the game, good run blocking, etc., good in all areas. So that's absolutely positive for him. Tyler Warren for the Jets. Warren, I think, is a stud. You're not going to find guys like Warren as well. He's an outstanding blocker. I think he might be the best blocking tight end as well. Terriota McMillan for Arizona. For the Panthers, McMillan, I think, is the real deal. Some questions, I think, definitely a big drop, I think, from last year's group of receivers, which was really good. But I think McMillan is probably the one I think is the best starting NFL receiver. They absolutely need that in Carolina. So I think that's one. Saints, I think, are a question mark. I think they could be in play for the quarterback. Short of that, Will Johnson, the best cover corner in the draft. I think man-on-man cover corner. He's probably the one I feel the best about covering elite receivers right off the bat. Man-to-man with no help. That is really, to me, great mark of a corner. Will Campbell, I think, is considered the best tackle in the draft. I think more of the Bears. I hear a lot of running back with them. I think they're going to shore up the offensive line. I think the running back, I think they're going to get to later. But I think the offensive line, I think, is the priority one. Ben Johnson's there. That's exactly what they did in Detroit. So I think that is what they are absolutely looking at there. So that's the top 10. So we had that as well. So let's look at the Ravens here. Ravens mock. We already went over it last night. Kelvin Banks. We'll go through it real quick. I won't go too deep into it. Xavier Woods, I think, is a name to keep on here in the second round. Safety is a thing. Darius Washington, they're going to bring back, but they're definitely going to look at a safety, I think, absolutely in the draft. D tackle is absolutely necessary. Omar Lott did them in the mock draft. They absolutely have to do D tackle. They're losing Michael Pierce to retirement. They're not going to have possibly Brent Irvin for the same reason. So that's definitely a thing. D tackle. Inside linebacker, Chris Paul, I think that's somebody you want to keep an eye on for them. Inside linebacker, they're doing something. Malik Harrison's gone. Could they be rolling with Trent Simpson? Kick punt returner, I think, is a thing. Tyler Wallace may get another shot at it, but Silas Bolin is a name to go ahead and keep an eye on. Zy Alexander, corner, you may see more than one. Who's going to start, Humphrey and Wiggins. A lot of people think Humphreys is going to be in that slot. So they're going to need, I think a bigger corner might be what they're looking for. They have a couple speed guys there. Edge, Oway, who knows what happened. Baron Soul is a guy they're looking at, big speed rusher here late as well. Lukandra, great-natured guy. Love seeing smiling and everything I saw him in. Kendra, I think, is a guy they're absolutely going to look at. Offensive line, I'm curious, though, it might not, if they feel they need to upgrade it as much as I'm seeing it. I think that's interesting. I think it's possible that they don't feel the same way, that they need an upgrade here as well. Interesting. But I think you need 2 line. I'd absolutely do here. Defensive tackle, we talked about that. Riley Mills, I think, late here. Definitely a Brent Urban type. I saw it, when looking at him. Why not place a guy like Brent Urban with Brent Urban type player as well there from Notre Dame. Upton Stout, this is more the speed guy, the hitter. I think absolutely you could put him at safety. He can have a career in the NFL. And I think secondary, I think, is going to be a prominent position. And, oh, yes, Tyler Loop, kicker, is on the menu in the draft for the Ravens. Probably, for surely not tonight in the first round, obviously. But Justin Tucker, they have not said much about Justin Tucker, which I think is very, very, very weird. They all they will say is the league is investigating, whatever, and we're looking at him in the draft. I think he's gone. I think what they're doing is they're there's no rush to actually go ahead and say anything else. So I think that's just not what they're doing. They're not saying anything else. So there you go. So the Ravens, I think, couple positions, definitely. Offensive line, tackle, kicker for sure, inside linebacker. No real one position of strong need. So it is somewhat hard to predict, to see exactly what the Ravens are going to do tonight as far as that goes, because they love to take best river. They could take a corner. They could take a safety. If Malachi Starks or somebody like that, but they could do a lot of those type things as well in the draft. So definitely keep that in mind when you're looking at it. So one more time, let's go over it again. Calvin Banks, I had that there, 27th last night. Offensive line, offensive guard. I think that's definitely the route that the Ravens could go in the draft. Interesting also, too, we're going to see what Shador and all that stuff is. Now, one more thing. Let's go over the QBs. So what do we think happens to QBs? This is just predictive what I think the order that these guys are going to go as far as in the draft. This isn't necessarily my list, what I think, but this is predictive. We know Cam Ward's going to be 1. There's absolutely no drama there. Sanders, I think, is 2. I think he goes much earlier than I'm hearing lately. I think Jackson Dart is 3rd. I think the Steelers absolutely take him. They have to take a quarterback. Milroe, I think it's 4th for him. I don't think he gets taken tonight. I think he may have to wait till late round 2, round 3. Milroe, I think, athletically, fastest quarterback in the draft, best arm. Best throwing arm. Inaccurate. Needs some work. I think he needs to sit for a while. Howard, the season he just had winning the national championship, I think a lot of teams are going to take a look at him. That's what I think the way it's going to go in the draft. I'd be surprised if it went anywhere else. You never know this whole Sanders thing. If he does drop, it'll get very interesting at that point. But I don't think he drops that far. What I would do in the draft, if I was the guy looking at it, these are my 5. Cam Ward 1, Sanders 2. I don't think they're that far apart. I think Ward, the measurables are better. And I think there's less the Sanders name and all that doesn't. I think that's why he's higher than Shador is in the draft. Less other stuff that comes with it. And I think he's in the first round. Shador, I think, is 2. I think Shador is pretty good. I see a lot of people questioning the arm strength. I think it's better than everybody else in the draft. I think except Milroe and Ward. So I think his arm strength is a strength as well. I like Kyle McCord. That might surprise you. I think Kyle McCord does everything well. Is he big enough? Is the arm good enough? But I think all the other things are great. Looks off the receivers. He could be a guy I think surprises people In the draft, he could be a guy you take in the 5th round and do very well. Jackson Dart, I see Chad Pennington with him. People are raving more about his arm, and I don't really see it. Did well enough at the Senior Bowl as well. And I think number 5, Milroe, I think you definitely have to take. I think you would take him. You kind of looked at him 1st round, but not consistent enough. I think he has to work on his consistency, passing the football, get with a good passing coach, a team where he can sit. And I think you'll see more results from him. So there you go. Top 5 there from those guys. All right. Thank you very much. Happy Easter, Christmas, 4th of July, the draft. I'll be watching. Definitely, I'll be on after. Great Sports Podcast will be on after the draft is over. I'll be on at 11 o'clock after, not after the Ravens, but after the whole thing, after the Eagles, whoever it is, picks 32nd. We're going to be on that. Definitely check out Driving to the Top Productions. I'll be sticking my head in there, not right away, but I'll be in there tonight. I'll be definitely checking out Big Rich, Adam, all the guys on the channel. So definitely check that out there. Thank you very much for joining us, and you guys go ahead and enjoy the draft. You have a great rest of your day.